Guys, Muriel here. It's Sunday. This is my first YouTube video on this channel, and we're gonna the weekly outlook or forecast for the next week. So let's start. As always, we are looking at the economic news calendar. This is our roadmap for the week that is coming. This is a pretty actually good week that is upcoming because it's loaded with red folder news. So every day is tradable except Tuesday. You should focus on indices, but other than that, it's really looking good. It's first week of the month, so because of that you need to be careful, and it's the last month of the year, so just be cautious. But in terms of the red folder news and volatility, this week should be really good. So new week, new opportunities, like they say. So let's start. As always, we are starting on the monthly time frames. Let's start with the BTC. We are marking out the order flow leg. We can see that we have this monthly FEG, this swing low in the order flow leg, and this swing high in the order flow leg. In 6 hours, we are gonna get the close of this monthly candle. Unfortunately, most likely this is gonna be a disrespect on the monthly FEG, but we still have some hopium because of this huge week. Let's go to the weekly time frame to see what is happening. We can see that this week didn't swap the previous week low nor the previous week high, and we have a weekly breakaway gap right here where potentially we are drawing into just by the looks of the current weekly candle and on the sweep on the monthly time frame. So this is the draw on liquidity on the daily time frame. That month, just look at this hard time frame week is actually lower time frame displacements right there. So on the daily time frame we have some displacements, and we have actually a push context, which is the narrative to move higher. So we have this push context to draw into the external range liquidity and this weekly breakaway gap. So actually we have some hopium for the BTC still. Let's go to the Ethereum, also monthly time frame. What can we see here? We can see that we have the FEG. It is gonna be closed within that FEG, not below that, which is still a nasty close, but still in that level. So it's looking better than BTC, but not the best. On the weekly time frame, we don't have any breakaway gaps or FEGs like we do have on the BTC, but it's also an inside candle, and by the current looks, this is the draw on liquidity for me, previous week high, and we have the narrative to move towards that previous week high, which is this daily FEG right there, to push us higher. Firstly towards the external range liquidity, and then depending on the sweep or run, we can go towards the previous week high. On the altcoin side, Solana is not looking the best. It's sweeping this major swing low on the monthly time frame, but it's gonna create the breakaway gap, small breakaway gap on the monthly right there. It's not close, but it's still in the way. On the weekly time frame, we have speed bump for the pump, this resistance level, this FEG, bearish FEG, breakaway gap, which is not filled. But on the daily, we have equal highs that are overlapping with that weekly breakaway gap. So this is a nice target to draw into. But again, on the daily time frame, we even have there the speed bump, the resistance, which is this daily FEG. We firstly need to flip that FEG in order to go towards these equal highs and towards the weekly breakaway gap. But on all time frames, basically, we have some speed bumps, some resistances, so it's not looking good. About the other altcoins, I'm not even gonna chart them because they're really bad looking. Monthly FEGs, bearish FEGs are gonna be created on most of them. So I would say that the best idea is to invest into the BTC, Ethereum and Solana potentially Aster, Hype, and Zets, because they are multi-cycle coins and multi-billion-dollar coins. All the other altcoins are really bad looking, almost at all-time lows, and the market is too diluted with altcoins right now, and there is no new liquidity coming in, so you need to be careful in what you invest. Zets is the only good looking chart on the monthly. This is only problem because this is a huge reject, but still we have this reason to push higher from this monthly FEG that's going to be created. On the weekly, as seen from this monthly week, we have the displacements to the lower side as well on the daily time frame. We'll see how we behave after we hit this monthly FEG. That is the draw for now. That is going to be created in 6 hours. Other than that, let's see what are the indices doing. Indices are basically the best asset to trade because they're clean, they're respecting the levels nicely and all that. So on the monthly time frame, we can see that they're sweeping the previous month low on both of them and showing the huge wicks, which means that lower time frames are showing displacement to the upper side towards our drawn liquidity, this previous month's high on both of them. On the weekly time frame as well, what can we see there? We're sweeping the swing lows, and on Nasdaq and as well on the ES. The other thing is that we hard closed above the previous week high, so we hard closed above this high and as well over this high, which means that we're expecting next candle and next weekly candle to draw into this swing high, which is aligning nicely with our bias. So these two marked levels, this one and this one, are the draw on liquidity for the upcoming week. If we get a good price action, potentially we can even head to the all-time highs as well. On the daily time frame, we can see that we are creating the breakaway gaps instantly, so these gaps should not be retraced into because they're bags. So focus is on the intraday trading, and I'm expecting, don't want to predict anything, but expecting that we are going to form some 4-hour FEGs in the New York session to be our narrative to move towards the marked highs right there. And let's see what are the commodities doing. Commodities, on the silver we have the new all-time high, really hard close above the previous month high, which is a really bullish sign, while the gold is lacking a bit. It created a breakaway gap right there, which will not get filled, but we'll see. On the weekly time frame, we have the, again, clean doll on the gold, which is lacking in price action, versus the silver, which is making the overlapping array right there. And there is no level to move higher except this one on the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, we will most likely wait on Monday to close to potentially create daily FEG right here to push higher. You can see how gold is lacking right there. And that is why we should focus on silver, just because if you're looking for longs, we should focus on stronger asset, which is silver for now. And let's see what is DXY doing. DXY is sweeping the swing high on the monthly time frame, and it created the monthly FEG. But this FEG is most likely not gonna work. Why? Just because it's created inside of this consolidation. So I'm gonna just look at it like a drawn liquidity as a target. If you go to the weekly, I think we have the S&T with GBP right here on the previous week high, and just by the looks of those displacements and this body, we are aiming for the previous week low as a target, and after the previous week low, this swing low, which is then also overlapping with this monthly FEG right there, like we can see. And if you see on the daily time frames, let's just remove this so it's cleaner. We have bearish order flow right there. So bearish order flow is pointing lower. And as you can see here, equal highs, pretty good target, aligning with swing low on the weekly, aligning with the monthly FEG. I think this is where we are headed, which means that Euro and the Great Britain pound are gonna go higher. I marked out already where is Euro headed. It's lacking a bit. GBP is much stronger, but yeah, this should be it. Take it easy, guys, and happy trading this week. Enjoy.